point of it, but it was the androgynous spots. And Monica was like telling Chandler like all like the 7 like the zones.
Oh yeah. Not erogenous.
Erogenous.
I was like, what?
Androgynous spots.
I was like, what is that? Do I have one? I'm Carla.
I'm Asia.
And we're kind of cultured.
Yes.
So, we're back after our summer break.
A long hiatus.
Yeah, we didn't tell you we were going to go on it.
Yeah. Surprise.
Surprise, we're back. A lot of people, have been asking, not a lot of people, like our friends.
A handful of people, too, have been wondering, where have we went?
Yeah, like what happened to the podcast, if it's going to continue. And yes,
It's
obviously, we're
back
here.
by popular demand.
Yes, but we're going to implement a couple changes.
Yes.
We're going to do it twice a month,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's going to be every other week.
Mm-hmm.
For now, because our schedules are a little bit crazy and we just...
It's the best ways that we have time and then you can rely that you know that like we're going to be on.
Yeah. Exactly. And we're also going to do another thing for you guys to like carry over the 2 weeks, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a podcast. But it's going to be more of a YouTube thing.
Yes.
Where we're gonna get cultured and you can watch us do it.
Yes.
Maybe it'll inspire you to get cultured too.
And this will be on like religious, different things like religions that we're not familiar with or cultures that we're not a part of or just different activities that's related to things that are not our culture.
Yeah. So like, should we talk about what we're gonna do for the first one or not?
Sure. Give them a taste.
So we were thinking, I've never had Indian food and Aisha's had it like
West Indian food.
Yeah, but like a couple times. And we wanna order some
food and like tell you guys what it is, try it out with you, and hopefully that would inspire you to also try these different things that are widely available to us, especially like we're in Miami. We have everything, So yes.
But not as everything as
New York.
Yeah.
But most things.
Or Philly.
We're not in like Indiana or something.
No, no.
Yeah.
And like there's a huge variety of Latin American foods here, but I feel like I'm not ever inclined to like have Indian food or like
because like you know what you like, for the most part, like I order from the same 5 restaurants on my Postmates, because you're used to it,
Venezuelan food, burgers, pizza sometimes, and that's it. Oh, and Chinese food, but Uber Eats doesn't have that good of a range for my area. But anyway, so we're gonna have those videos once a month probably for now, and it's just a way for us to get a little more cultured and for you guys to like be inspired. Yeah. What else?
That's kind of it. I mean, always feel free to like send your questions and everything like that, as well as suggestions, since we are trying to change our format and trying to produce things that you want to see. Please feel free to send your questions to kindaculturedpodcast4@gmail.com.
Yes. Oh, and so we talked about our 2 little segments that we had before. And honestly, astrology is super complicated and it's not for everybody. So since we always, among ourselves, we talk about Netflix all the time or TV shows that we're watching, we thought it would be cool to like watch even more shows and tell you guys about it. So my little segment is now going to be called Showtime, and I'm going to tell you about the shows I'm watching and like what I know about them and if I recommend them or not. I have 2 really good ones. Well, one really good one not so much for today, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes, and I'm still doing my ad minute, so stay tuned for that. So I guess it's time we jump right in.
Yes.
So I thought we can talk about Justin Trudeau. It's like one of those really like weird topics right now. I don't know. I haven't really been hearing a lot about it. in general because everyone's so mixed on this. What do you think?
So what happened was that it's election time, or it's nearing election time in Canada, and people are going all out with receipts, and some pictures of Justin Trudeau surfaced of him wearing brown face and blackface.
Well, so he told on himself. So he did someone found a picture of him at a Halloween costume or some event where it was like Arabian Nights, and he was dressed up as Aladdin. So quote unquote brown face. And then after the whole controversy, he did a press conference and also said that he did a blackface costume for another occasion. So I mean, he kind of told on himself before he got caught, which I mean makes sense.
Yeah, and it's the right thing to do, I think.
Yeah, I mean, what's done in darkness will always come to light. I feel like you couldn't hide it if you wanted to. So it makes sense.
If the pictures are out there, somebody has them, they're going to come out.
Yeah.
What I think. I used to love him so much before this. He's beautiful and super, progressive and a feminist. And I think he's super cool. And, not that I know much about politics, but I like his page on Facebook, and I use Facebook a lot. So I see the things he posts, and he's always super progressive and modern and nice, and he has before this he had the reputation of being a great person, and a great leader. And one of my closest friends is from Canada, and she loves him, and loves Canada and the way that they
are run.
Mm-hmm. So I always thought he was great. This sucks for him and his reputation, honestly. I think that, how many years ago was it that he took these photos? Probably 20.
It was when he was teaching, so
maybe not 20.
Mid-20s.
So 15?
Yeah.
How old is he?
I don't know, 36, no? 30.
Oh, he's young.
Is he 36? He may be 46. I don't know, but he looks very young to me.
Yeah. Okay, we'll look it up. Be right back. Oh, shit. Okay.
Good white don't crack.
He's 47.
47.
So, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He looks so good.
He does.
But, I like older men. Not older men, but,
he looks good for his age.
Yeah.
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 He's
I
just
think
a
older
fit
men
guy.
are hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jinx. So, we didn't address our outfits
matching
today. It was not planned.
No, we just have a thing for Hunter Green.
Yeah, and it was a coincidence, and we decided to leave it. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see we're dressed very similar.
Yes. It's in, really.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's #fall.
Oh my
Fall
God,
vibes.
I love fall. I know we
Doesn't
live in
fall
Miami.
start today?
I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it
I wear
starts today.
sweaters year round. Okay?
Yeah, true.
But nonetheless, I'm so happy for fall.
Me
So,
too. Although it's raining outside right now.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I think today's the day we're filming is the first day of fall.
Yay.
So exciting. Okay, so back to Justin Trudeau. It's very unfortunate that something he did 20 years ago or ish is going to has the potential to affect no. It's tragic that a photo or a couple photos he took 20 years ago can affect the future of an entire country. That's super crazy to me, and it sucks. You're asking my opinion. I don't think he's a bad person. It's a super, super shitty thing to do. Racist and offensive and ignorant. Yeah, to wear blackface or brown face. But I don't think he's a bad person. I think he knows that it's wrong now.
Yeah.
And to me, that's all that matters. That he, reflects.
Yeah.
What?
He reflects.
He reflected on, oh my God.
His past and now.
His past, yeah. My English is kind of broken because I spent a month and a half not speaking English ever. So, yeah, if you hear something weird or I say something wrong,
Let her know in the comments.
Yeah, let me know in the comments, please. But yeah, what do you think?
Honestly, like, I don't know what to think. When this first came out, I was super conflicted. Like, usually I'm super, like, decisive about everything in life. I'm all the way yes or all the way no.
Extra Taurus.
Yes, like 100%. And for me, it was hard because honestly, like, especially in our political climate in America, with Donald Trump, like, at the helm, it feels like we're under such bad leadership, and then we look to Canada and we see Justin and we're like, oh my God, like, what a great guy, not only in comparison to Donald Trump, but just like in general, the things that he's done for Canada, and also like his like advocacy for like Native Americans, and even like when we had our huge like immigration ban, like he's speaking out on it. He's done a lot for his country, but he's done a lot for ours in the way that he showed leadership. It's just so hard because had it been anyone else, this would be a totally different conversation, because I would be saying accountability is important. And I always feel like if you do something wrong, someone should hold your feet to the fire. You did something wrong. Like, that's just how I feel about it. Like, you should be accountable. And especially when you're in the public eye, I think that you have to be 10 times more accountable, especially politics. But it's like he's such a good person. And he's a good person, like through and through. And you see this bad thing happen and you wonder, like, was it just like a mistake, a young person who made a mistake? And even in thinking that, he wasn't a child, he kind of knew what he was doing. Maybe it was ignorant, but...
It was ignorant. I don't think he did it
maliciously.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't think, honestly, before I think I heard the word blackface for the first time a couple years ago, where like this woman like claimed she was African American and like she was white.
Goes out.
Yeah, her. And before that, I was like, blackface, what is that? Like, it never crossed my mind that painting your face black or brown was offensive. Like, first, I've never done it. I never, but like, if I went to a party in Venezuela many years ago and like saw someone,
you would never connect the dots and say like, well, that person's wrong.
Like, if they were dressed up as like an African American like actor or singer or whatever, and they did it, I would never be like, oh, that's before. Before. I would never have been like, oh, that's so racist. Like, let's not talk to that person. Like, no. I was like, oh, he's dressed up as like this person. That person's skin is dark. Yeah. Like,
and this is what he's doing.
It's just part of the costume.
Yeah. I mean,
but after, like, I realized the impact that it had on like people. Yeah. Like African American people and like brown people. I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. Just like with the hair, like that whole controversy of like, Yeah. I never thought it was a bad thing until I started learning that people were actually offended by it. And now I think it's horrible. But I don't know that he knew at the time. Also, French Canadians have a reputation of being like a little bit out of touch with like, not to say ignorant, but like out of touch with like other cultures and like not being the most aware.
Of what's going on. I mean, that's true. And I think a lot of people give, like, okay, like, for instance, like the H&M controversy with the little boy in the, like, the coolest monkey in the jungle. People were like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? And the parent was was British, or she was from somewhere else where the impact of what that isn't as significant as it is in America. And she didn't feel the need to take her kid out of that. And of course, Black America was outraged by it because it has such a deep-rooted history here. So understandably, I realized that some things may not hit as hard in other places. And Canada, like, maybe, but like you said, like in like Latin America, some of these things, they don't know about it, and yeah, that's ignorance to a certain extent, but like, what can you do? You don't know what you don't know, But also, well, in Latin America, for me, like, if we have a Black friend, we call him like the Black, like el negrito, like, and that's, if we have a Chinese friend, we call them el chinito, like the Chinese, like, that's how we are, at least in Venezuela, and
we don't get offended by like comments, like even if someone's blonde, we call them el catire, like the blonde, like
Yeah.
that's how we call, like that's how we refer to them. So, but here it's different, and like the whole world is now becoming more easily, I shouldn't say easily offended because it has a negative connotation, but like more sensitive to things like that.
I mean, honestly, like I think a lot of people are saying like, oh, people are becoming more politically correct. I don't believe in politically correct. Either you're right or you're wrong. It's either you're correct or you're not. And I think that it's not so much that people are more sensitive. I think that people are now understanding that the things that they say cannot just be said without thought. And like the history, specifically like blackface, I think a lot of people are like, why are you so pissy because he's wearing a dark face and he's showing a character? It's because they don't know the history. Like blackface was what white Americans dressed as, and they pretended to be a clown, and they put on blackface, and they spoke like unintelligibly. They, did really crazy things to make it equate black people to apes and like crazy people, clowns, literally.
I didn't know that.
And like, I mean, black people were in zoos watching these things, and that's all Jim Crow. Like all of this stuff is very easily, like you can find this information on Google.
Oh wow!
But it's so deeply rooted, and especially in America where we don't address a lot of the problems that we have with race, it will continue to be a problem. We don't talk about it, and then something like this happens, and it's brought to the surface, but we never really address it. So it's like one of those things. Right now, I still feel super conflicted because, like I said before, Justin, he's such a good person and he's done so much. And like I said, had this been anyone else, I would think it would be fair for him to either like lose his position because I think that he should had it been someone else that had been like cancel him. Why? Because if you're in a position of power, you can't be seen doing something like that when your constituents, like, they're going to be like, what the hell? Like, if I were a black constituent in Canada and I was like, how can this guy be president when he did something so morally offensive? That's what I would be thinking.
Okay, but should he be held up to the same standards when he did this like 20 years ago? And he didn't know he was going to be president. He didn't know he was going to be like the leader of a freaking country. Like,
but that's the thing, though. Like, we kind of have to have the same rules straight across. Think about Kavanaugh. He didn't know that he was going to be, like, inducted into the Supreme Court.
Okay.
And then he did a shitty thing. And then...
Okay. But, it's not the same thing. When you rape somebody, is that what he did? That's what he did, right? He raped the girl. The woman. Or, like, he sexually assaulted her.
Yeah, it was
sexual. He sexually assaulted her. When you're sexually assaulting someone, and they're, like, saying no, or, like, crying, or, like, whatever... You know it's wrong. You still do it.
I mean, obviously, the severity may not be the same, but the only reason that it even got dug up was because of his position. Like,
yeah, but like he also doesn't have the best reputation. So like he did that, and like he knew he was doing it, and he knew it was wrong because like how could you not know it's wrong? You know it's wrong.
It's wrong,
and you don't care.
And the fact that you didn't say anything or
exactly. So he did it. He knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
Justin did it. He probably didn't. I'm not defending him in any way. I'm just putting this on the table so that we can.
That he doesn't realize.
Maybe he didn't know it was wrong at the time, and now like maybe he's thought like, oh, what if those pictures like come out? Like, oh my god, that would ruin me. Blah blah. I think it's a little different, but yeah, when you like, okay, so what if you are president in 20 years? Okay. You have to be like, oh my god, I took a nude 30 years ago. What if that comes out? Oh my god, I did this. I tweeted something. I guess it sounds bad that like, oh my gosh, like you can't even be a kid when you're a kid because now all of these things are going to come to light. But frankly, for every president, anything that they ever did bad came to light. Obama smoked weed and people brought that up so very often during his presidency. I mean, Bush, I think he did weed and like cocaine or something like that. People brought that up during his presidency. A lot of people, I mean, there were slave owners who were presidents. These things are brought up. And to some extent, they are, if they're alive, they are held accountable where they actually have to speak on it. Mm-hmm. So what's your solution?
I mean, I think that's the big question.
Be ready for anything to be dug up, basically.
I mean, I would like to say the solution is be a decent person all the time. But I guess knowing kids, like, you're gonna have a slip up, and I don't know if that one slip up should like be the mistake that like ruins everything for you. But we can't. But like again, if somebody like rapes somebody at 16, I'm sorry, like
Okay, but that's
go to jail because you're a bad
exactly,
person. I don't,
exactly.
you know. I don't know. Even as I'm talking, I'm still like working it out in my head because it's like, has all the good that he's done, has that kind of wiped away some of the bad that he did in the past? Can we like rationalize it in that way? I don't know. I don't know.
Yes, we can. Okay, so we can talk about a little more about cancel culture. I don't think he should be canceled. I don't think he should lose his position in power.
Mhm.
It will affect his re-election. Is he up for re-election? I think he is.
I think so.
I'm not sure.
I'm not 100%.
Okay,
sure.
we'll look
Don't
it up.
quote me.
1 second.
Oh.
Okay, he is up for re-election. That's what I thought. Getting
Yes.
cultured every single second. Okay, so what was I saying?
Cancel culture.
Yeah. So I do think he should be like allowed to like be reelected. Will it affect his reelection?
Sure.
It might.
Yeah.
But I don't think it should. It's not like he raped someone.
Yeah, but no, it's not equally as bad, but it's still bad, and it still offends people in the worst way. And to your point, you said, what can we do? I'm a very solution-based person. What can we do? I think it's going to affect his reelection any way you slice it.
But Canadians are so nice. They're probably like, no, it's fine.
But that's the thing. Like what I've noticed is that me too, but people have been a lot more lenient with him because either one, it doesn't affect them. They're not Black and they don't care because it's not them. Or two, they like him so much that it kind of like changes the way that they see the situation. I too. And frankly, Canada's very white. And while they are noted for being really nice people, I also think that it's not going to strike them in the way that like it's going to strike Black Americans or Black Canadians.
Right.
But as far as the solution goes, I think that he's a good example, or he can set a good example for people who are put in this position and try to do some good from it, which I think would be to start conversation. And especially, like you said, like in Venezuela, like in Canada, people aren't aware of this part of the history because, frankly, it's not their history and it doesn't touch them. And that's the same way. I don't know. We had to Google whether he was being reelected because that's Canada. We don't live there, so I get it. But maybe he can do a documentary. I don't know. Go talk to people, do his due diligence and try to learn why people are so upset about it and see what he can do for the communities that may not be in Canada, but maybe here in America or the people who are affected by it. I think it can be a learning, just a teaching moment. I don't think it absolves him of anything. I just think that this happened. It's unfortunate, but this is the path to moving on. The other day, I watched White Privilege, this documentary on Netflix by Chelsea Handler.
Okay.
And she's white. And she did like a documentary on white privilege. And she spoke to people like from different parts of the country trying to get do they believe it's a thing? Do they think it's just like a hoax?
God, it's so a thing.
Exactly. But like you'd be surprised. A lot of people are just like, I don't think so, or it doesn't affect me, or I don't really see that from where we are,
Because you're surrounded by white people.
And that's literally like what it said. It was just like, but how would you know? Like you're white. Like how would you know? But I thought it I don't know if the documentary was successful, but I will say that I commend her for taking something that she realized, like, because she like dated a Black guy. And she was pregnant from him twice. She got an abortion twice. And then he went to jail for 14 years. And like, she's been like caught up in the law, but she's never gone to jail because like.
What did he do?
I think it was like armed robbery and like something with drugs. And she was also like with him when he was selling drugs. But every time he would go to jail and she wouldn't. And I guess she never attributed that to race. But like, as she's like older, she realizes that a lot of the opportunities she's got, a lot of the the chances that she's gotten to like get away from jail and stuff like that has been because of her race. She went back and saw the boyfriend or whatever. So she realized like this was an issue. She did a documentary, and while this doesn't change anything, she did her due diligence to try to get information out there. And I think that's what Justin can do. Some people are still going to be mad at him, understandably. Some people are still not going to care, understandably. But I think if I were him, in order to sleep good at night, I would have to do something to make a difference. Yeah.
That's pretty good. So, do you believe in cancel culture?
I do.
In general, not to him.
I do, like 100%. I think it makes people accountable. Or at least more accountable.
I don't know. If you're okay. I believe in cancel culture if what you did was so horrible that like you cannot be forgiven, like sexual assault or like, murdering someone.
That's bad.
Or unless you're like a really terrible person,
Mm-hmm.
always.
Mm-hmm.
Like James Charles. Like
I don't know the drama.
Well,
I don't know the story.
He's a
there.
YouTuber. He's like 20 or 21 or something. He's just super spoiled. He's a great makeup artist, but I don't think he's a good person. He's made super like insensitive and racist comments, and he was canceled twice.
Twice?
Well, more
This
than twice.
Okay.
But the last time it was because like he said that he outed this guy, and like he tried to like buy him off, like to be with him, and like yeah, it was bad. It's like a whole drama, but he was canceled and he lost like
several followers,
like millions of followers, actual millions.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yes, this is what he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a whole drama that I'm not gonna get into. We should do a whole video dedicated to it because it's so long. But I was watching his. There's like a platform that you can go into and like see people's live subscriber count.
Okay.
And I was in it, and I was like, yes, it's red. It was like going down. And I was so happy. And I unfollowed him, and I was like, this guy should not be allowed to like have a platform.
Yeah. Because
he's so terrible. He like, took a break, and then he came back, and he was like, I've changed, but he's still spoiled, and he's still a horrible person. So he should be canceled. I believe in cancel culture if it's something recent, like you say something like James Charles did. Like he said something about like, I wish I remembered. Let me Google it. 1 second. Okay, so it was something like he said like, oh, I hope I don't get Ebola or something because he was in Africa. It was so stupid, but he said it on a Snapchat story, and like people were like, that's so racist and ignorant and yeah. So I think cancel culture should work for people that do shit like that repeatedly, like he does. Mm-hmm. He should be canceled. He should not be allowed to have a platform if he's gonna like spread that kind of information, especially because his audience is like 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
That are learning from him. And like if that's what they're learning, then the future of Earth is like
not that right.
No.
I mean, it depends. Like, I'm of the opinion, an unpopular opinion, that people don't change. I feel like who you are is who you've always been. I mean, obviously from adolescence to like adulthood, there may be like changes in, I don't know, maybe behavior. But I think if you grew up having preconceived notions of different races or different kinds of people, having some sort of like being prejudiced to like people with like, LGBTQ or, I think that you kind of carry that over to all the other parts of your life as you grow.
But what if it's because you weren't exposed to people like that? And then you have friends that are Black or friends that are gay, and you're like, oh, maybe they're not as bad as I thought. And then you learn that we're all the same and that we all deserve the same rights and etc.
I mean, that may be the case, but I've yet to see it, to be honest with you. I feel like, I feel that about myself. I think that who I am today is exactly the same little girl I was when I was 14 years old, or when I was 9 years old. I kind of have the same like thoughts that yes, grow, but the same.
Maybe you've always been super
I've been
progressive.
I've
and
always been a very liberal
liberal.
loudmouth.
Yeah. Because I cannot say the same for myself.
Yeah.
Like in Venezuela, I'm not exposed to African American people as often as here.
Yeah.
And other cultures. And I didn't even know
Mm-hmm.
there was more than one religion until I was like 12. Because I'm an idiot. But like,
No.
I started learning about other religions and I was like, what? I mean, I knew there were other religions, I should say. But I thought they were bad. I thought that I was...
Because they were not yours, you didn't associate.
And like, I've never even been to a religious ever. But I was like, oh, Jewish people, no, that's so bad. Because I knew one Jewish person and he was an asshole.
Yeah.
To us.
Yeah. So
I was like, Jewish people, no, horrible. And like, that's not true. Like, and then I learned, I moved here and I was like, oh my God, we can all be friends. And it's fine. It doesn't matter the color of our skin. Or not that the color of our skin ever mattered to me. But like with LGBTQ people, like I didn't have any gay friends.
Yeah.
I only had the cliche of like hairdressers in Venezuela being gay and like they were nice. But like that's all I knew. And like I didn't really think twice about it. But then I had friends that were gay in high school. And then I was like, oh my God. And they are really good friends. So it doesn't matter their sexual orientation. I did learn a lot. Like when I switched schools and when I was 12, I was opened up to a whole new world that like I didn't even know existed.
Really?
I went to Catholic school for 10 years. So it was very closed off and very like stupidly sheltered.
Yeah.
And it was all girls and like I didn't even know what Friends was until I was 12. The show. Yeah.
I was like
no. The show. Yeah. And like the kids that I went to school with like started referencing it and I was like, what is that? I didn't even watch TV in English. So like I wasn't exposed to like the American or universal side of the world. But now I am.
I mean, I guess, we learn. I think you're a good example to like, again, like you don't know what you don't know. When you kind of live in like a fish tank, you can only see what you can see. Exactly. And understandably, as you gain new experiences and you move out of that, you begin to be a little bit more inclusive. So like to an extent, I agree, but I don't know. I've been like, that's how they are. Like, I mean, and that's like with the people that I've known, like, I don't know.
For like people who are like liars, like, yeah, they're always going to be a liar. If you're a cheater, you're always going to be a cheater. But with like getting cultured, that's something that like opens your world to like so many new things. And
I mean, that's why they say you have to travel in your lifetime. Yeah. That's why you have to like leave your hometown and see what's out there for yourself. I mean, it's not like I'm not definitively right. But I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean,
and that's very big of you because she's a Taurus.
Yeah.
To say so.
But yeah, like especially like with cancel culture, like I was thinking about like Kevin Hart. I know for a long time people were.
Oh, I thought of him too.
People were very upset with that,
but then it's gone.
Yeah.
The people that have been like really canceled, Kevin Spacey, 100% deserved. Who else? Like famous.
I don't know. They're usually like victims of not victims. I'm sorry. They're
victims of their own crime.
Yeah, like I was saying victims. They were the people of like the Me Too.
Oh, Harvey
Weinstein. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so I read like this headline of an article. Weinstein's lawyer says that his life has been ruined.
I bet
because of like all the allegations.
Okay.
You know whose life was ruined? His victims.
Of course.
Jesus Christ. I was like. Yeah, it was ruined. Very well deserved.
I can't. But like when I think of canceled culture, like I just consider it as just under the umbrella of like being accountable and the public kind of giving you telling you that like we're not going to accept this anymore. And I think about that like in the age of like Facebook where people are like, like Barbecue Becky and stuff like that.
No, I don't know that.
So like there's like, or like even like in like the Hispanic community, like there's like a lot of like, I guess, quote unquote white people who will go to like restaurants and they'll see someone speaking Spanish and they'll get super mad and then someone will videotape them and then they're canceled like online. Like I love that.
I love that too.
Like,
But
that's what I think
it's
about.
little nobodies that are just like ignorant and like we don't even know their names.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we learned their names
Yeah,
afterwards.
after the fact. But
And like people like that, yeah, cancel them. Like
Yeah.
they have nothing to do with like.
I love that stuff. Like,
Yeah,
that's
me
what I
too.
think about it. Like, holding your foot to the flames. You did this bad thing, and people are going to treat you like crap because this was
You
a bad
deserve it,
thing, you know? But I don't know. I just don't like the idea of people like saying that like this generation is being too sensitive, canceling people for no reason. Because in fact, it is for a very good reason. You
Yeah.
offended somebody, and like if you're like a nobody and you're like sitting in your house and you say some bad thing, it's still bad. But when you're a celebrity and you're saying this to the whole entire public, unfortunately, this is the price of fame. I
Mhm.
think, yeah, that's what I think. But yeah.
Nice.
So you were mentioning Friends. I think that's super interesting since it's their
25th anniversary.
Anniversary?
Yeah. I'm so sad I'm not in New York because I could go to the pop-up.
Oh, I didn't realize they were having a pop up.
What?
No.
Oh my god. Yeah. They have they did a whole set with the Central Park
Mhm.
couch and whatever. People can buy tickets. Well, tickets sold out in minutes,
Of course.
but there's a line
Yeah.
that you can get in a half hour, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And I know Ralph Lauren is launching a Rachel line.
Really?
Yeah, but
That's really cute. I
it's
didn't
cute
know about that.
and I was looking into it, but it's super super overpriced, turtleneck
course.
sweaters, that have no friends
Like
tags or
insignia
nothing,
on it. It's
nothing.
just a turtleneck.
It's just
sweater.
a line of clothes that Rachel would wear.
by. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think Bloomingdale's is doing the same thing
Oh, that's
or
cute.
something along
Mhm.
those lines. I actually found out. I'm part of many Facebook groups. I think I've mentioned it before. But I found out that if you Google Friends Ross or Friends Chandler, or Google comes up with their bio and stuff, right?
Okay.
But there's a little icon to the right, and if you click on it,
Mm-hmm.
it gives you different effects to the page
Mhm.
depending on who you search. So Ross is the funniest one. So you Google Friends Ross, and then a little couch comes up, and when you click on the couch, it says pivot, and the page goes sideways, and then you click on it again, and it says pivot louder,
Oh my
and
god.
it moves to the other side. And then you
That's
click on it again,
cute.
it says pivot, and it starts falling down the couch fell down in
Yeah.
the episode. And then you click on it a fourth time, and it says pivot, and it restarts.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That's really freaking
Super cool.
Smart, cool.
The Phoebe
funny.
one is smelly cat. The
Okay.
Rachel one is a little lame. It's her hair.
Mhm.
You click on it, and it takes you to Google Images, and
Mhm.
it searches. It shows you
Rachel.
the Rachel.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then the other ones are whatever. But I mean, they're not whatever. It's cool. But Ross's is the funniest one. What
so
else?
funny. I mean, Friends is just like you were saying earlier. It's so classic. What's your favorite episode?
Oh shit! I don't know. Let me think.
There's so many.
There's so many. I've rewatched the entire show 11 times.
No.
11 times.
No.
Of course, it's not I watch intently every episode because I know the
What's gonna
script
happen?
already.
Yeah.
But I leave it in the background and sometimes watch it because
Yeah.
it's so soothing to my soul.
Yeah, it's a comfort.
I don't know what my
But-
favorite episode is. I can tell you which ones I don't like.
I don't like all of the last couple seasons.
No.
I love early episodes of every show. Love the early episodes.
No. I don't like the jellyfish one. Monica's acting is so horrible.
Oh, the peeing. Okay.
I don't like the peeing
Mhm.
episode. I don't like the mac and cheese episode where Joey.
Oh yeah, that was stupid.
Super
The show.
stupid.
Yeah.
I don't like those. There's episodes that are too focused on Phoebe, especially
Yeah.
in early seasons.
She's the least favorite character.
Yeah, she's just too weird. Rachel told her once you're the one that they could remove and the group would still be good. And
She said that?
Yeah, she said that.
That's so mean. True, but mean. I don't know. There's a lot of episodes that stick out to me, but at the moment I'm thinking about the episode, I don't even remember the whole the point of it, but it was the androgynous spots, and Monica was like telling Chandler like all like the seven like the zones.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Not erogenous.
Erogenous.
I was like, what?
Androgynous spots.
I was like, what is that? Do I have one?
I just thought it was so funny. She's like seven.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was hilarious. I still think that's funny.
I love the one. Well, it's a classic. The one with the letter that Rachel writes to Ross.
Oh, and he's just like agreeing
Yeah.
with it.
He's like, yeah. It's just like, oh, you fell asleep. It's 18 pages, front and back. It was so funny.
That was a good one.
I love the storyline where Joey and Rachel got together.
I thought that was so weak. That was like for
I
last season Gossip Girl.
Loved it.
They were
Loved
just
it.
grasping for straws.
No, and the producers say that like they really, really wanted to do it because they asked them like, "What's one thing you wish you could have done?" And they're like, "There's this Joey and Rachel like storyline that we really wanted to do, and we did it. So I think we did everything that we wanted to." Yeah, there's actually a book about Friends.
Mm-hmm.
Talks a lot like about like what happened behind the scenes, like their relationship, blah blah. I really want to read it because I'm the biggest fan.
I mean, I'm a fan, but like, you know, like I still like we were saying, like I regard like Friends as like a really good show, but like I also don't think it's particularly original. Like I think like it's reminiscent of like How I Met Your Mother. It's reminiscent of like Cheers. Like a group of friends that meet at one place, whether it's a bar or a coffee house. Like I just don't think that it like yes, it's funny, but I don't think it's like groundbreaking.
I think what makes it like so amazing and like what makes people go crazy over it even 25 years later is that it's timeless. Like it's general enough that we can all see even in 2019 ourselves in one of the characters at some point, and like the situations are so relatable that they are like timeless.
Who are
I
you?
feel like.
Or Rachel or Monica?
Okay, so I've always thought about this. I know Monica is, you'd be surprised, she's like the least liked character.
Yeah, she's neurotic.
Yeah, but like, oh man, I can't help but like defend her. I don't like the whole storyline of like her, like she was obese and like she lost weight and like I don't like that angle of her being like, it's not even that she's insecure, but like just weird about like
I feel like
having
that
been
never
fat.
connected to me. Like they bring it up like, you know, here and there. But I felt like it was never like a part of the real story. I think it's really only like Ross that ever says like, yeah, we had to hide the jelly from you. Like
Yeah.
like little things.
Yeah.
But I never thought it like made any
But when they did the throwback episodes,
yeah. Oh, those
like,
are so cute.
they
And, like
are
Rachel like
yeah.
that's my favorite episode.
Really?
Yeah. It's just so corny and cute. I love
With the
stuff like
nose?
that. Yeah.
Rachel's nose. I think I'm a lot like Monica.
Mhm.
Rachel's too airhead. Like for me.
Yeah. Early on. And then later she gets like sane.
But still, like when she asked Monica to make all the decisions for her, like I'm the friend that you would go to
Yeah.
to be like, make all my decisions for me. You know, and I would be like, yes, just like she was. I would say I like her love story with Chandler. Like, man, that's goals. Like being friends with someone for so many years and then being like, holy shit, you were right there the whole time.
I mean, I like their love story more than Ross and Rachel's.
100%.
I mean, I think that they kind of gave Ross to Rachel because he pined for her for so long. And, like, I guess...
Gave Rachel to Ross.
Exactly, vice versa. Like, I don't know if that really made sense for Rachel, but I think it's what Ross wanted.
I don't think it made sense for Rachel, especially when she, spoiler alert, got off the plane.
Yeah.
Dude. I was like, no. And, like, that is why I would never be Rachel. Like, the fact that she did that, like, no.
I never, like...
Who are you?
Honestly... I think that I'm more Chandler than anyone else.
Really?
I just think, first of all, I think Chandler is like really cool. Like he's a good friend to everyone, but he's just like, you know, the comic relief, like in the back, minding his own business, like just a funny guy. Like I'm not Rachel, I'm not Monica, and I'm not Phoebe. Phoebe like irritates my soul.
I know, same. I cannot help it. And I was reading an article about why Phoebe's like, why you'd never want to be a Phoebe.
Mm-hmm.
And the article talked about like how Friends showed that you can turn your passions into careers, and they all did,
That's a good point.
except for Phoebe, who tried.
She sang.
She sang, but even in one episode, she said like, "Oh, like if I did it for the money, like," said something like, "If I did it for the money, like I'd be poor or something, something like that."
Yeah.
And she even said, "If I did it for the money, like I'd be poor or something like that." Throughout the whole series, like the article said that we see her, and like it's true, we see her trying to make it as a singer, and like she has shows in Central Park, and like she's invited to like schools or whatever. Her friends never tell her that she sucks. Even in the episode where she did the commercial with Smelly Cat, and they replaced her voice with like an actual singer, she plays it for her friends, and she's like, "Oh, I sound so good," and her friends are like, "Yeah, you do." Like,
but in actuality, the friends never did tell Joey that he sucked either.
But he didn't suck. I mean, he sucked, but he made it. He made it in like a stupid little character in a stupid soap opera, but he did it. Like he made it.
Draper Moray.
Yeah.
I mean, I all think they lied to one another. I think they all were not particularly great friends, except for maybe Monica. Monica was a good friend to Rachel, but no one told Rachel that she was stuck up. No one told Monica that.
I think people told Rachel she was stuck up. Well, the guys don't care, because like guys are in general, you know, they're just like, "Nah." And Phoebe's not deep enough to like be like, "Rachel, look," like. But I think Monica did tell her, like especially when, like at the beginning, she was like, "You need to like stop using your dad's credit cards," and like.
I don't know. I found that like all of their friendships, while strong, they were also hollow. Like, wow, I think they were
super offensive to me.
I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I think that they were good friends for the most part, but I also think that like they weren't there for one another aside from like relationshipy, you know, the Richard and Monica thing, and like, you know, like I don't know. I just feel like I want a friend who will sit there with me, like work out, like what are we doing for our careers, like, you know, like
us,
exactly the important stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But like I felt like nobody was truly like, "Look, guy, like you're not good, you can't sing, or like you can't act."
They helped Rachel with her resume, but you know, agree to disagree, and we can put it to rest because I love Friends. And please don't shit on my show.
It's a good show.
No,
I still watch it.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like, "Oh man, they're so hollow."
Oh no, it's your show.
No.
I watch a lot of like ridiculous shows that also no sense, you know. But you like what you like, you know.
Speaking of shows, we can get into Showtime.
Showtime. Okay.
So, I had a lot of free time for the past month-ish. Actually, these two shows that I'm going to talk about, I watched in the past, like, week. But, so, they're very, very new. The first one's The One Land. I always call it The Island, like I-land, but it's called The One Land. It's pretty freaking terrible. Like, I gave it 2.5. Well, I gave it 3 stars out of 5 because I couldn't give it 2.5 because Netflix doesn't let you. But I would have given it 2.5. At the beginning, I thought it was going to be a show like Lost, which like I'm into.
Yeah.
But no, it was like super sci-fi, and I am into shows that like, you know, you watch them and like you know it's fake, but like you like to think they could happen. In
real life. Like it adds up.
Yeah. Exactly. But no, that was like too techie and like disappointing because I thought it was gonna be like them being lost in an island and like finding their way out, or like, but no, it wasn't. Yeah, no, it was. I'm not gonna tell you what it. Should I say what it was about?
I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe like a brief synopsis without giving things away.
Oh, that's hard. Well, it's about these people who wake up one day on an island, and they find like clues and like on how to get out, but everything seems super staged, and that's because it is. But I'm not gonna. But no, but it's pretty obvious. Okay. Like things that are like too obvious at the beginning, like in the first episode, and you're like, okay, what's going on? And like, I'm not gonna tell you what's going on. If you want to watch it, suit yourself. But it's not good, and it's super disappointing that I wasted so much time. Well, no, it's not. It's only like 8 episodes.
Yeah. And if you like sci-fi, then this would be for you.
maybe, but it's not like about the space or like aliens or that kind of sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's more like super, super, super advanced technology that we don't have, and
Westworld.
like seems exactly Westworldy, but Westworld is a piece of art.
Yeah, I like Westworld.
This show tries hard, but no. The other show that I want to talk about is called Unbelievable, and it's amazing. I would give it 1,000 stars because it tells the real life story of, I don't know if her name in real life is Marie Adler, but it tells the story of Marie Adler and how she was sexually assaulted and recanted her statement, and then basically like said she wasn't sexually assaulted, but she was. Meanwhile, her rapist was free raping other women. So it's like the story of the detectives, of the case. It's a real life thing.
Yeah.
So like I'm super all over that. Like,
yeah.
And I'm super all over giving victims a voice and like telling these stories that are so super important to tell.
Yeah.
And the acting is amazing. It's the cast is like mostly females, so like yeah, I love it. I've heard it's one of the best shows of the year.
Ooh,
so,
I guess we'll see in award season.
Yes. But yeah, those are the 2 shows I want to talk about.
I definitely want to watch Unbelievable. I still haven't seen it, but I'm
excited.
And
it focuses on the victims and like their side of the story and what they're going through, and like Marie's like journey into, I guess, finding closure for what happened to her. She was a very troubled girl, and like she deserved like closure, and she deserved the little, I guess, happiness you get after, you know, your abuser is caught. And
yeah,
anyway,
that's really
you should
cool.
watch it. I'm not gonna say anymore because
I really want to watch it, and it was really well received. It has like really good ratings. People are saying it's reminiscent of Speak. Have you seen the movie?
No, I haven't.
With Kristen Stewart or something, but it's a book first. But yeah, really good reviews. Totally must see.
Cool. And with that, we can move into your little
Asia's minute. I've been dying to talk about this ad. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's a Spotify ad.
I don't think so.
Okay. So what I like about this, okay, let's set it up for you first. So the commercial, they have like different spots, but the one I think is most prevalent is like this girl that's in her car and she's listening to Elastic Heart by Sia. And like she's totally into it. She's like, you know, like singing it. And like her car is like, I guess like off, but like the music is playing. And like she's like wearing a soccer jersey. And like she's like all in the song, like, you know, like when your song's on, you're just like, da-da. And like the other players of like, she's wearing a soccer jersey, so like the game is going on and like 2 people are looking at her while she's in the car, like totally singing, and they're like, what is she doing, you know? And she's just like totally into it. And the tagline is let the song play. And it works because the insight is, if it's a really good song, you'll stay in the car to finish it.
Oh, okay.
And like all the other like situations, like the other ads, they're set up the same way. Like a delivery driver is like outside needing to deliver the food, and the person is like at the door, like looking at them like with the food. That is
so funny.
Yeah.
You know, I think about that a lot because I'm a very like, as we were talking earlier, #deep person, and like I think about weird shit all the time. Yesterday, okay, not yesterday, every day I get home after work and like after the gym or whatever, and even if there's a really good song playing, I'll get out of the car. And then yesterday, I was like, you know what? I want to listen to this song. Why do I deny myself the pleasure of listening to this song? Because I'm always in a rush for no reason at all, because I had nowhere to be. So I listened to the song, and I was like, great, now I can get out of the car.
Yes, you should.
I know I should.
Yeah.
I'm always in a rush. You know how I am.
I mean, I'm always in a rush when driving with nowhere to go, but I'm always just like, get the hell out of the way.
I'm always in a rush with literally nowhere to go. Because, like, you know, I leave for places like 1,000 hours earlier. So I'm never late.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But from now on, I will let the song play. #deep.
Yes. #Spotify. My thing is that, like, you know, in school, I think, well, a lot of the best classes I've had in like ad school was trying to find an insight that was truly universal, and a strong insight will carry along any idea. And I've found that to be true. And I saw the commercial and I said, oh my God, this is great. Like, this can work anywhere. Because I do this all the time to a bunch of songs. I'm always in the car, and my parents are like, either like they hear the car and they're like, Asia should be in right now, and they'll call me and I'll say, don't call me. I'm in the car. I'm listening to my song. You ruined it, you know? So, yeah, it's called Spotify for the Ride is like the whole like advertisement. And then each iteration is like, let the song play. One of the best commercials on right now. Love it, love it, love it. You should totally watch it. Yes. And with that, we can wrap up.
We had pretty good timing.
Yes. So what were you cultured about today, Carla?
Oh my God, so many things. Blackface, the history of it, which I'm ashamed I didn't know before. And so many other things, but mostly that. That was the most impactful one.
Yeah.
You?
I mean, I think, again, like, just like listening to you and like hearing like somebody I know talk about the fact that change is very possible. And, you know, obviously, like, you're an outstanding person, and
oh my
if
God,
you
thanks.
can change,
I'm not, but thanks.
but like, because you're a good person and because I know you and I know that, like, you know, you can admit to the fact that, like, you know, living where you live, it was like a closed environment, and coming to a different country means that you get to, like, you know people more. And I think, you know, I guess we can be a little bit more, we as a culture can be a little bit more understanding, but also in the other way, I think other people can also be a little bit more understanding. So again, I mean, I guess we're all just people doing the best that we can with what we have.
Yes. So that's it for today. Look out for our Getting Cultured little video. That's not going to be an audio because obviously you have to see us.
Yes.
Like, whether it is like trying the food or going on whatever adventure we go to. But yeah, that should be up, you know, in the next, couple weeks.
Stay tuned, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and hopefully we won't disappear on you again.
No promises.
Bye.
Bye.